Thank you very much. I'm really happy to be here, to be invited by you to present things that I haven't presented in for a long time, despite the fact that my name is connected to a Creative Europe desk here in Lithuania. I will speak none of the words about international funds and Creative Europe here, because all of this conference is probably dedicated to that, to some European tools. But now I was just asked to present an overview on Lithuanian culture and creative sector, and I'm very happy to do that. And also delighted to know that in the end of my presentation there is an answer, or at least a suggestion to the question that Andres has raised in the beginning of this conference regarding the participation of organizations in applying for loans and other tools that are more likely to be operated by businesses as such. So let's start and continue. What do we have here? We actually have in some ways we have not so much data to present, but therefore I was trying to tackle the most important parts of creative industries in Lithuania in a sectorial approach, as well as in a culture economy approach, since it covers some parts of culture and creative sector as well, especially now in the political in policy documents, which are actual at the moment. So if we look at the policy roadmap, what do we have here? So we just had some calculations, actually big calculations, starting from 2007 up to 2010 and 13, with some political decisions made in Lithuania. And the biggest data and research was made up to 2015, and after that I will give you only some actual information, which is more of a sectorial approach. So here what we have about the GDP in Lithuania, it's around 5.2 of GDP created by CCS and CCI, and 5% of total export. And important to mention, 70% of culture and creative industries in Lithuania are situated working from the capital, from Vilnius city, and 40% of total GDP comes exactly from Vilnius. Why do I speak of it? Because I am also a city councillor, Vilnius city councillor, for 2 years already, and 2 more years to go. And for the past year, we were working on a culture policy strategy for 10 years, specifically for Vilnius city on the municipal level. And last Friday, we agreed in the specific working group to start a research on culture and creative sectors, industries, or in a broader sense, culture economy in Vilnius, to be able to create specific tools and prioritize some things for Vilnius on a municipal level, on the smaller budget, but still to create some strategies for this. We also have the creative industries promotion development strategy in Lithuania, which has been created a long time ago in 2007, then reviewed in 2009 and 2015, and these priorities still are here: to develop creative skills of the society, to employ CCI's potential, to raise economic value, exports and share, and to foster innovations of all the sector of CCIs. So this strategy was meant to achieve 7% instead of 5.2 in the year 2020 of GDP. But for now, we don't have results of this since we had the pandemic years, which led us to focus on some different things. And I'm still curious where this is going to take us further. Well, and here I've very recent and the only actual document which is to be here for more 9 years. It's a strategic document, Lithuania's development strategy 2030, and smart economy is one of the goals of it, one of the aims of it, and some goals connected to culture and creative industries. And we can see here the innovation notion, and in goal 10, the cultural resources as effective and inclusive socioeconomic growth, as a cause of effective social economic growth. So this is what is actual now in the policy making. To go sectorial wise, as Lucia mentioned already, the audiovisual sector is exactly what we have the strongest rooted here in Lithuania. Since first big researches and feasibility studies were made before 2013, because 2013 is the launch of the institution, which is a very strong actor in the field. And this institution is called Lithuanian Film Center. As a result of the research back then in 2013, the Lithuanian Film Center is working to... I hear someone.
Sorry, can I ask all participants to please mute themselves? Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. So Lithuanian Film Center is the really big catalyst of audiovisual industry, of film industry itself. It also has the Creative Europe Desk Media strand under the umbrella there. I need to mention some other than film sector, film production, post-production, or distribution of festivals, or even animation. As a part of this, the fast-growing gamification of game creators industry, which is really specific in the way that also our audiovisual sector has parts in it, some fingers in the pie, and we will see later that the design is also calculating game sector in its different data. So this might be because of lack of kind of political, strategical, or maybe sector itself hasn't found the nest to be within. So we will see, but in terms of numbers, this is the fastest growing sector within audiovisual sector, or as a separate one if you wish. Lithuanian Film Center, as I said, launched in 2013, is a big actor in the field because it's the only sectorial institution in Lithuania which has the legal function of disseminating grants to the sector, to the film sector. There is a Lithuanian Culture Council disseminating money for culture for all sectors, and then the second institution is this specifically pro-sectorial film center, which also has grants and disseminates up to 6 million euros a year. As you can see, total annual budget of this film center is 7.5 in 2021. It's just because they have a little bit more functions than just to disseminate grants to film industry. Also very important in terms of results, the Vilnius Film Office, it's the institution on a municipal level, and they work really hard and do a lot of things in film location scouting, and results of it are production of movies and TV series, and a TV series Netflix as well, here in Vilnius and surroundings, also in other places in Lithuania. The last shooting was here by Netflix of the series, well-known series. Oh my God, I forgot the title of it. That's very funny. But I will come back to it later, maybe. So we have this data, which you can also see later on, not to dig deep into names. Also, very important thing is film tax incentive, which was launched in 2019, and boosted this film production in Lithuania. Initiated in 2019, it's available for fiction films, TV films, documentaries, and animated films. So at least 80% of production costs has to be spent in Lithuania, and the minimum of 43,000 euros. And films, of course, cannot be pornographic or promote violence, and has to meet cultural content. This is the infographics that Lithuania Film Center uses to promote this, save up to 30% of your Lithuanian production budget. To go back to this, also some recent stats about films in Lithuania. As you can see, in 2019, there was 6.5 million euros disseminated, supported to film industry nationally. It's the same this year, just not included into this infographic picture. And the total number of films distributed in Lithuania were 351 movies in 2018. You can just dig it in later on. I will share my slides with everybody. So another sector is design sector, which is being mentioned by me here now because it's the recent research study made in 2018 of the designers. Is a very vast industry containing the both industrial design packages, and also they include the game industry, gamification industry in their calculations. So they counted more than 12, almost 13,000 legal entities of the design sector in Lithuania. This is the data from 2015. More than 21, almost 22,000 employees, which is 1.7% of all Lithuanian employees, also 2015. And in terms of patent, in 2018, 51 design applications for 159 designs were filled by Lithuanian applicants. Well, as I said, game industry also perceived as a design part. We will need to figure this out somehow here. Well, the Design Innovation Center was supported by European Union, by the way, along with the new building for the Lithuanian Academy of Arts in 2007, and also this Lithuanian Design Office Feasibility Study. This is the exact name of the document of the research that is available online, and I will give you the link to it. They say that they need the Bureau, the Office of Lithuanian Design, to work quite similar like Lithuanian Film Center, to be the competence center for this big and really fast growing sector. We also have Design Council launched by two ministries, Ministry of Culture and the Economic and Innovation, in 2019 to go for purposes stated in the feasibility study, and now they're hoping, we are waiting. The pandemic, of course, gives us not much attention to things right now, for waiting for the Lithuanian Design Office to be launched. Well, innovations such as this beautiful chair, a multifunctional piece of furniture, was invented here. It's also sustainable, made of wood, and durable for leisure and working environment. And another piece I wanted just to show you as a picture was the purses and bags made from paper, as a sustainable use of fabric, and the design innovation that we have. Not to go deeper, since my time is really going low, I go to innovation, which is not a sector, which is actually more of a horizontal notion. But as you have been watching my presentation since the beginning, the innovation is the only notion that is still operated in the actual policy documents. So So I will use this, and I will give you some understanding of the innovation. We ranked as 37th in the innovation index made by Bloomberg in 2019. We were 34th in 2018, and our neighbors, Estonia, are ranking very similar, and Latvia is on the 42nd place in this innovation index. I will leave you this for the later watching this innovation theme, and we also have the Lithuanian Innovation Development Program for 2014 and 20. It is a different policy document which has also ended, and it's meant to enhance business innovation potentials and increase efficiency of innovation, including the creativity. As you probably know, there are three parts of innovation to become innovation. It's creativity, education, or science, and political decisions, and political and tax environment that needs to be overthought to grow innovation in the country. The reform in 2018, it was aiming to reallocate areas of responsibilities, update some concepts, plan to establish agency of innovations, plan to fund for promotion of innovations, and to plan a strategic science, technology, and innovation council. These are aims of this innovation reform that has been launched and actively discussed within interministerial way, and this is benefits of innovation reform, which have been expected in 2020, increased wages, the number of innovative companies from 46% to 53%, and also the GDP increase. I go back here and want to mention some other sectors really worth attention now. Is music sector, as fast-growing experimental electropop scene is actual here. Festivals and production also could be very actual for investing in terms of investing as in businesses. Publishing was very much funded in Lithuania in previous 10 years. Was highly supported and was highly growing in the past, and now it's still strong there. And also TV broadcasting production, but I don't think we have time to go deep into this, and I'm just mentioning as other. Well, to go to the answer to Andres's question, I'm just focusing on what's current and what's new, and what are we having here in Lithuania for CCIs in these post-pandemic or still pandemic times. So current thoughts and current discussions appearing in the ministry concern vouchers for CCIs. Also the biggest new React EU allocated funds also for creative industries, and also Vilnius City Creative Industry Study and Strategy afterwards. That means in 6 months. If we meet after 6 months, I will tell you really more about this. And here is the list of possible funds or possible organizations or institutions providing funds for culture and creative sectors. This is not all of it, but I think these are most actual ones at the moment. Also, I put all sources for your research. Everything I use here, all information and data I collected here is in this slide. And of course, React EU. We are having 15.5 million euros planned specifically for CCIs in Lithuania as a current success. And this is the answer to Andres. I've been working with the cultural organizations for many years, and these are 3 tips, actually, fundraising tips for those who are enterprise or seeking for funds, but also useful to understand for financial institutions. Well, when we speak about culture sector, which uses public grants, oriented and aimed to give a social, aesthetic, or cultural benefit to the society. So this all project plans and applications, including budgets, they are oriented, or their value proposal is concentrated in the how, to whom, when, what is the quality of the product. And in terms of budgeting, the budget needs to be just aligned, just equal, 0. We are not usually talking about revenue, because the revenue is the social capital, let's say it like this. And the different organizations who would refer to creative economy, to part of creative economy, these are businesses, they really do understand how to make a business plan. So when the organization used to project planning, project funding comes to an institution giving loans, for instance, or I don't know, or guaranteed loans, or any different kind of financial instruments requiring a business plan, the only thing that starts is the misunderstanding, is the wording, is the mapping, the problem of mapping. I think this is the important thing to consider, to think of, and check, learn, understand, and calibrate terms of different funding schemes for those who seek for funds, and for those who give funds, to sometimes understand that their new target audiences might be used to completely different notions, wording, planning, and documentation. So this is the important thing. And for those who seek for funds, I say that it's important also not to stick to one kind of planning, and explore and use all funds available simultaneously: public grants, private investors, national, international support agencies, consultancies, partnerships, programs, crowdfunding. I really love crowdfunding. A lot of innovation where started being funded by their own audiences with this very nice tool. And also planning, because some of funding steps, or some money comes in really a long way. So sometimes you need half a year or a year to get the grant, to get the loan. I don't know, maybe it's different in the financial sector, but in grant system, the bigger the grant, the longer the evaluation process. And if you need some funds to operate and to do something already right here and now, there are many different ways it all needs to be planned. So I wish everybody a good discussion, and thank you for having me here.